What's up, fellow citizens of the world? Jordan Patrick here, and welcome to my channel. So for those of you who are new, I'm an American living abroad in France. And so today I thought I would share with you guys the top 7 Christmas traditions in France. So on y va, c'est parti! Before we get started, I want to say that I just added some really nice homemade eggnog to my coffee, and it is like the perfect sensation and mix between the crème, cinnamon, super good. I actually did a video with a friend how we made this, and we made tons of mistakes, but it ended up turning out super nice. So I recommend checking out that video. I'm not sure which one I'm posting first, but if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, I recommend doing that now so you don't miss that one, because it's a funny one and it's something that you could really make at home. It was super easy, so I recommend checking that out. So let's get started. First on the list is going to be the most popular one that you see all the time. And it's not only in France, it's worldwide, but it's the Advent calendars. So like most countries, France also does the Advent calendar, where each day you open up the little door and it'll be for each day of the month leading up to Christmas. And then you get little gifts or little candies, or in some cases wine, for each day that you open the door. It's for both kids and adults. Sometimes like these cartons that have just little wine bottles inside for each day of the month, and it'll be a different wine from a different French region. I've also seen this in Germany with different beers for every day. But yeah, chocolate is definitely the most common one. Oh, and before I forget, I do have a nice Christmas specialty that's French that I will be tasting for the first time at the very end of this video. So yeah, stick around. So number 2 on the list is midnight mass. Those of you who are Catholic, I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. France is less religious now than it once was, but there's still a huge Catholic community. I would say that it's less common in today's society. And you'll have a lot of Catholic people that will have dinner before Mass and then they'll go to Mass with their families. Definitely something to know about Christmas in France. So number 3 on the list is called Le Réveillon. And this is actually referring to the meal that you have Christmas Eve. And this meal will consist of a lot of very traditional French dishes. Like you'll definitely have foie gras, very common to have duck or goose. So yeah, you'll have a lot of very traditional French dishes for Christmas. And that's called Le Réveillon, and it's something that you'll do before Mass. Okay, so for number 4 on the list, it's actually a pretty funny one that I've never seen before coming to France, and it's something called Le Père Fouettard. So what's really funny is that in France you have Le Père Noël, which is Santa Claus, and then you have Le Père Fouettard. So he's kind of like the bad Santa or like the evil Santa. So that's kind of funny because Santa gives out the good gifts, and then you have Le Père Fouettard, which is going to give out the coal or all the bad things to the bad kids. So this is something I find really funny because I'm surprised that we don't have something like that in the US. It seems like a very fun and playful way to kind of show the kids to be good kids so that you don't get a visit from Le Père Fouettard. And it's more common that you'll see that outside of Paris. You'll see it in other cities around France, but it's not so much of a Parisian thing. So if you're living in Paris and you've never heard of this, that's probably why. So for number 5 on the list, it's something that I've seen many times and have tried it myself, and that is the little Papillotes, which are these little candies that you always have on the Réveillon. So like the night of that family dinner that I mentioned, like you'll have these little candies or chocolates that are wrapped in this shiny gold paper. And on the inside, you'll have these little quotes that talk about life, or I remember one that I've had before said like, a day without laughing is a day not lived. These little French quotes that are super cute. So here's a little fun fact that this tradition actually came from the 19th century when this man was working in a factory and he wanted to confess his love for a girl. So he started to write her little notes and put them in the candy and give it to her. And that was his way of expressing his love to her. So yeah, it's a super cute story and a really nice tradition that I really appreciate here in France. That eggnog in the coffee is delicious. I highly recommend watching that other video to learn how to make this eggnog and make your own creamer for your coffee. It is impeccable. Okay, so for number 6 on the list it is going to be the Christmas markets in France. So I've actually been to many Christmas markets all around France. I've been to the ones in Paris, I've been to ones in Bordeaux, Lyon, Limoges, bien sûr. So the one in Limoges, they're actually not having it this year, but I did make a video walking around, showing around the Christmas lights. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it up above. But the Christmas markets in France are incredible. And most notably, the one in Strasbourg. The great thing about Strasbourg is that it's right on the border of Germany, so you have a great mix of traditions. That you'll have some German traditions, you'll have some French traditions, and it's a mix between the two. One thing that I love about the Christmas markets is that you have something called vin chaud. In English, I believe that that's mulled wine, which is like red wine that's heated up and it's stirred and you constantly mix it and you add some sugar, you add some spices. Yeah, it's a very traditional French drink during the Christmas time. You also have a lot of hot foods like pretzel or like Wiener Schnitzel, sausages, you'll have biscuits, you'll have churros, tons of awesome, great, like Christmas type foods. Yeah, it's something I absolutely love in France. And if you happen to be traveling in France during the month of December, surely there will be some sort of Christmas markets in the city that you're visiting. Okay, so for number 7 on the list, I did say that I have a surprise for you guys, and it's also a surprise for myself because I've never tried this before. And that has to do with les 13. In English, that means the 13, and it represents like Jesus and his disciples, but it's referring to the type of desserts that you're going to have on Christmas. So that can include les tartes, which are like pies, gâteaux, which are cakes, and then you have something called la bûche. And that is what I have here. Voila! Joyeux fêtes. It's like happy holidays. So a bûche is a log. That's what it generally means. And it's a mix of like icing and cake and filling, and it's like wrapped around. That kind of gives the shape of a log, and it's supposed to be nice and moist. And this one that I got here is hazelnut flavor. So it's a religious term, but it's not really seen as being something that's religious. It's just the desserts at the table for le Réveillon. So let's try this bûche, and I'm gonna give my reaction. So let me introduce you to my little buddy here. This is Carlos, the king pug, my little guard dog. Ooh, it looks really soft. It's all nice and cut. It's nice and fluffy. Let's try it. Yeah, that's good. I'm trying to think of a cake that we have in the US that would be something similar. I don't know if there's like a specific name for this, but like a really fluffy white cake. Please let me know in the comments down below if you know like what the specific type of cake is called. Like angel cake. I think that's it. I might have saved you the trouble of writing that. Pretty léger, it's very light. So yeah, it's really good. So if you happen to be visiting France in December, I really highly recommend trying la bûche because it is traditional to have this during Christmas time. And if you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I hope you learned something new, and I will see you in the next one. À la prochaine. Ciao, ciao for now. Other countries, France, gosh. A day lived without, no. TV table, coffee table, which, what is that called in English? Pretzel, and that are